Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alicia and thank you so much for being here. Happy August 2024. In today's reading vlog, we are reading a book on my Kindle. It's called The Last One by Will Dean. I've never read a book from this author before, but this has been on my Kindle for about 1 year, pretty much since it came out last year. It is free on Kindle Unlimited if you're in the United States, but the reviews, okay, I have not read the reviews, just the star rating is not the greatest, but I am so excited to get into this book, although I don't understand why it is so long. So this book, it's got over 31,000 reviews across Amazon and Goodreads, so good for you, Will Dean. Many people have read this book. However, it's got between a 3.6 and a 3.9 star rating, so I don't know, we'll see. Lately, books with terrible reviews, I've been giving 4 and 5 stars, and then books with phenomenal, amazing reviews, I've been giving them 3 stars. So I might really like this book, but tell me why it's 445 pages. It's a survival thriller, and why is it so long? This came out 1 year ago. It came out in August of 2023. I'm excited though. Let's just see how it goes. The synopsis is so vague. It just says that there's a woman named Kaz. She's with the love of her life named Pete, and they are stepping aboard this exclusive cruise liner called the Atlantica. They are going on a cruise, and that first night there, they spend the whole night eating, drinking, dancing, getting to know all of the other cabin mates, everyone else on the cruise. And then the next morning, Kaz wakes up, Pete is not next to her in their cabin. So she goes out into the hallway, and when she looks down the corridor, every cabin door is open, and she starts peeking into all of them and realizes they are all empty. Where did everybody go? So then she makes her way through the entire cruise ship and realizes there's no crew or passengers. She's the only one on this ship. She's the last one on this cruise liner, and they are somewhere in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and she's just by herself. And that's it. That's the whole synopsis. I have tried looking up reviews for this book. All I know is around the 120 page mark, we're gonna get a reveal. Something about dogs. There will be dogs on this ship all of a sudden. And then another creator said that the book takes a complete 180. The plot completely changes. So I don't know. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I don't really know how long this vlog is going to be because I don't know what all I can and can't tell you. I mean, I don't know, how vague do you want me to keep it? I'm not sure. This vlog might be 20 minutes long. So let's just get into it and see what happens. I am starting this book at dinner time. It's a little after 5 p.m. and I don't want to eat dinner just yet, but my neighbor had brought me over some Spam chips. Spam flavored. Has anyone ever had this before? I mean, the back is in Japanese. I live in Japan. They taste like ham and they look like regular potato chips, and I'm just dipping them in some salsa. The only thing so far that I can tell y'all is this book starts off with a map, which that's interesting. It's a map of the cruise ship. Let me see if I can turn my Kindle on. Oh, you're not gonna be able to see that. I can barely see that. You've just got the RMS Atlantica, I guess is what it's called. There's a theater, the bow, the bridge, the ballroom, the library, the stern, the saltwater pool, a grill restaurant, a lobby, the engine, freshwater pool. Oh, so I have a freshwater pool and a saltwater pool. Okay, and then, I don't know, there's a couple words I can't read. It's so tiny. That is it so far. Also, this book is dedicated to librarians. That's really sweet, for always helping everyone find a book. Love that. This book has already made me giggle because Kaz and Pete just stepped onto the cruise liner, and she looks at him and says, "Oh no, we forgot the seasickness pills. We were supposed to take them half an hour before boarding." Listen, I'm about to just walk y'all around my tiny little base apartment. Let's go into this master bathroom. Do you see all of these seasickness? Some of these are bovine, some of these are the patches that you put on the back of your neck. And then if we go in here, sorry if y'all see all the fans. There are so many fans. It's very hot in Japan. So right here in my Minnie Mouse bag, I've got more Bonine and more Dramamine. And then right here in my Herschel bag, I've got more Bonine and more Dramamine. I get so motion sick, so incredibly motion sick. And in Japan, you can't really drive anywhere. You have to take the train everywhere. And so I take a motion sickness pill almost every day. I've also semi-poisoned myself by taking 2 back-to-back, like 2 days in a row, and they were 2 different kinds. So that was funny. How do you get on a cruise? How are you getting on a cruise right now and you have forgotten to take your motion sickness pills? Her name is Caroline Ripley. In the synopsis, it was Kaz, C-A-Z. Caroline, or Kaz, works in a cafe and she does lunch deliveries. She's got family that she worries about, and he's just telling her, you need to relax, Caroline. You need not worry about any of these things. Also, they are taking their motion sickness pills with champagne. That's amazing. Has anyone read this book? Are there really 7 stories to this cruise? There's elevators on this cruise ship. It's 7 stories high. I know, I don't want to scroll back. I thought they were looking at a painting on the wall that was a 7-story tall something in the painting. But now I'm thinking that it's the cruise itself. This cruise is 7 stories tall and there's lifts or elevators. It's taking place in Britain. It's not how the map made it look, the layout of the ship. That's strange. Okay, I scrolled back. 7 stories tall, Pete says, pointing to the mural that dominates the lobby. It's an Art Deco depiction. 7 stories. That is not how that picture at the beginning made it seem. Y'all, listen to this. As is telling us, the reader, this is officially our 13th proper date. I'm sorry, you've been on 13 dates with this man named Pete, and the synopsis, he's described as the love of your life. 13 dates, and y'all are going on a 7-day excursion together. Twice now, Pete has told Kaz, this is your holiday. This is for you. We're doing this for you. It's well earned for you, Kaz. This is considered a domestic thriller. Is Pete gonna do something to Kaz? Kaz has a sister named Gemma, and Gemma thinks that this week-long romantic getaway is going to be Pete proposing to Kaz. If I'm filling you in too much right now, it's because later I'm not gonna be able to. It's so vague and I just want to know more. Apparently this ocean liner is double the size of the Titanic, and there's this hoity-toity couple sitting next to them while they're eating dinner. And Pete is saying, this is one of the finest cruise ships I've ever seen. And the lady corrects him and says, as I've said, we're on an ocean liner, not a cruise ship. And then she says again, this is for crossing. We are here to cross the water as if we were in an airplane on water. This is not for cruising. So I have so many thoughts. I can't say them all out loud, but here we go. Kaz woke up the next morning and Pete's side of the bed is cold. He has not been in that bed for a while. Is Kaz in a mental institution? Is that why they're crossing the water and not cruising the water, according to that hoity-toity couple? Can you see? I don't know if you can see my little girl cat. And also, can you see the clothes behind me on the drying rack? Drying. I don't put everything in the dryer. Okay, we have spent many pages of Kaz running around trying to figure out where everyone is. There's no one there. She can't find Pete. Her phone isn't working. She's trying to send emails, send text messages. She's done a hard reset. She's done everything. Nothing's happening. She has no signal. All of the cabins are empty where all of the other passengers should be. There's also no luggage at all. And then she goes back to her room. She finds Pete's watch though on the end table, so she puts it on. She's wearing his watch, and then she goes into an area that's for crew only, and there's no crew. However, they have luggage. They have tiny cramped rooms with bunk beds and no windows, not even a porthole, and photos of relatives taped to the wall Makeup and deodorant cans everywhere. Am I intruding? Are we below water level here? Just the thought of it makes me shudder. So there are some things. We've found some things. Did she run into a ghost? Is that who she's talking to? I was told that there's characters in this book that we're not going to like, and she has spent hours and hours just searching this entire ship, and she's spending about 2 hours on each floor, and then she finds the captain's area, wherever the captain sleeps or hangs out or something, and she sees the blueprints, and she does see that there's a dog kennel. And I had heard on one of these YouTube review videos that there are dogs in this book. And so she's looking around some more, and then she goes into an area and it's crew only, and she sees someone standing there. He's standing quite still, uplit, facing the wall. His nose must be touching it. He's wearing overalls, and his right leg is kinked at an unnatural angle. Huh? And then he turns to face her. They say their introductions. He says his name is Daniel Cho. This is so strange. It's just been 25 pages of her just searching the ship. Does age matter in this book? Kaz is about 50 years old, if you wanted to know, and Daniel is about 35 years old, and Daniel is wearing overalls that say Atlantica on the back of them, and his excuse was he just found them and put them on. We don't trust Daniel. It didn't say when I started the book how many chapters there were, but on one of the YouTube videos, I think it said there's over 100 chapters. I'm on chapter 8. I'm at 10%, so this is my 10% check-in. They have found a 21-year-old girl named Francine. She goes by Franny. So now you've got Franny, the 21-year-old, Daniel, the 35-year-old, and Kaz, the 50-year-old. And they're all just trying to figure out what's going on. We do know that Kaz seems to have a lot going on with her personal life. She runs that cafe that she works at. That's her cafe. Not sure what Daniel does. Franny's 21, and all we know is she did something bad. So many thoughts going through my head about what is going on. Taking a little bit of a break. My little boy cat, Audi, he needs some lovin'. Haven't really read much else since my last check-in. You're okay, baby. They just spent more hours searching the ship. They all split up. They're trying to find anything that they can to send an SOS signal because the radios aren't working. They have tried to slow the ship down. They've tried to radio out saying, Mayday, Mayday, we need your help. Nothing's working. So now they're thinking they could put messages in a bottle. They found some flares, you know, all the things. And then Franny says, I found a dozen dogs in the kennel. Could these be therapy dogs? Am I overthinking? I just feel like this is a mental institution. I don't know. We've met another passenger. His name is Smith. He's about 60 years old. He was looting the jewelry store that is on this cruise ship, and he held up his hand and there were 6 watches on his wrist, and he was saying he already went through the necklaces and earrings, but if y'all want to search them too, there's a few things left that are nice. Who are you? And he says he heard all 3 of them for the hours and hours that they were searching the ship, and they just said, you didn't come and find us. And he just said he had better things to do, and he didn't know if he trusted them. Where is this book going? Also, no one has checked on these dogs. Why? Do none of y'all care? I don't understand. There are 12 dogs in kennels. Let them out. Feed them, give them water, take them to the bathroom. Side note, if you wanted to know, Daniel lives in a van. He has a fiance and a daughter. They, I guess, have their own place. He doesn't want to be tied down. You're the best we've got, Daniel. I've never even changed a light bulb. The Atlantic Ocean is 12,000 feet deep on average. More than double that out here in the middle. We're not gonna hit any rocks. That's one worry we can eliminate. I'm 21% into this book, and they are still on the first night, I guess, or the first day and night of being alone, because we had the first night and then everyone woke up and then everybody was gone except for these 4 people. So there were 1,000 passengers and 600 crew members. So 1,600 people, 4 are left. So we're still on, I guess we could call this day 2. So they are just still trying to figure out what's going on, and now the electricity has gone out and everything's locked, including the refrigerators, so they can't get any food, and it's just pitch black. It's confusing because when Kaz was searching through all of those cabins, they were empty. Beds were made. There was no luggage. There was nothing. Now that the electricity is out, they are searching through all of these rooms again, just trying to find flashlights, or if you're British, you call it torches, so they can get some light. They have found a couple of smartphones, and then she's even asking Franny, you said you found some food in passenger cases, right? How many cases have you looked through? And then Franny says, maybe 100. Most of the cabins are locked. Those that aren't locked have empty minibars. Okay, I thought everything was empty and there were no suitcases. And now you're saying that there are suitcases and some people packed food. They even found medicine. Kaz suggested that they create a little pharmacy for the 4 of them in case somebody gets hurt. So what is it? Are you completely alone and there's no suitcases and no remnants of passengers? Or are you completely alone but there's still signs that there used to be life on board this ship besides the 4 of you? Also, what's going on with the dogs? Part of the ship has water, some standing water. Daniel was standing in it, his boots are wet, there's water up almost to his knee. Franny and Smith, they made a bonfire out of some of the chairs that were on the deck. So they're all outside getting warm because they're so cold because the electricity's off. Remember, they have no food. I'm confused right here because Daniel went and got some blankets and everyone gets a blanket, everyone gets some recliner cushions. They're all outside on the deck laying down, and then I'm pretty sure we're in Kaz's POV. I think the whole book we've been in Kaz's POV, and she's just telling us, the reader, there's a lot of coughing. That's the second time it's mentioned coughing. Are y'all in a hospital? Is this a floating mental institution? I am now past page 100, if you wanted to know. Nothing has still been done about the dogs. They have woken up, it's the next day, and they still don't have any electricity. And it's interesting because with the electricity being out, every single door is locked to every cabin. Also, since there's no electricity, for some reason, they're saying that's also why there's no water. There's no running water. They can't shower. They can't get anything to drink. Everything's locked. The kitchen's locked. The refrigerators are locked. So there's no food either. There's plenty of alcohol though. So that's interesting. But they can't use the toilet or bathe. And then Kaz was thinking they could drink out of the pool. And Daniel was saying, no. One is a chlorine pool. One is a saltwater pool. Both of those will, kill you. And then he's just saying that humans can go 3 weeks without food, but they can only go 3 days without water. So they're trying to figure it out. And now Kaz is walking around the ship again and exploring and searching. And she's just telling us, the reader, yesterday, this was a world-class ocean liner. But today, after our fire on the deck, it's as though I'm exploring an abandoned psychiatric hospital or a mothballed boarding school. Finally, Franny informs us that she has 2 dogs at home. She says if there's wet dog food in the ship's kennels, that should help keep the dogs alive until we can find water. She volunteers to take responsibility for them. It's only been days, y'all. This is my 30% check-in. I'm on chapter 25 and I don't know. I mean, nothing is really happening. They're just still trying to figure out how to get food and water. Apparently, there's extra food, water, and supplies on all of the lifeboats that go around the sides of the cruise liner, but they're all locked in place because the electricity is out, so everything's locked. They found some sort of tool. They've been breaking into all the rooms, but all of the mini bars and little refrigerators are empty. There's no food, there's no water. There's definitely a lot of alcohol though. That's all they're finding. Back to those lifeboats, they're trying to free any of them and get the supplies that they need, or water and food. And they've got Franny on a harness because she's lightweight, she's the 21-year-old. But they free one of the lifeboats and then it sinks into the water. So I'm on page 121. I was told there's going to be some sort of reveal around 120, 130. So I'm just anxiously awaiting that because nothing's happening. I'm sorry, what did this book just become? I'm on page 137, I'm at 33%. Yeah, we got a reveal. I don't even know what to tell y'all. I don't like it. This is a survival thriller against their will. I don't like this. I need to know where we're going with this. I also want to know what's going on with the 12 dogs. This is my 40% update. I'm on chapter 39, page 167. The electricity is not back on like we thought it was. They are freezing cold. It's raining outside, so they had to sleep inside, just huddled together essentially. And they had to get saucepans, cooking pans, and put them outside to collect rainwater. And then the next day they had to start another fire and boil the rainwater so that they could have something to drink. So they're dehydrated but not dehydrated. I mean, they're able to drink some water, but there's still no food. I mean, it's definitely a survival thriller, but where are we going with this? The 12 dogs, there's an area near the kennels with fake grass, fake trees, whatever, so they can let the dogs out, but one of the dogs is extremely aggressive, so they can't let that dog out of its cage. So it's just in its kennel rolling around in its pee and poop, but the other 11 dogs can go out and then come back, and I guess there's food and water for the dogs, but the dogs are shaking, they're scared. I mean, I don't like reading those parts. It's just so sad. What is the point? Why did everyone leave their dogs on this ship? Because these 12 dogs don't belong to these 4 people. I don't know how I feel about this book. I was so into it until we got that reveal of what's going on. Did I already say this is a dystopian prison? I was messaging my husband. I told him this is a dystopian prison. Hello vlog. I am gonna take a break from the book tonight and get ready for bed. It's about 10:30 p.m. I have not read much more since I last updated you. We're on day 4. Remember, you can go 3 days without water before you die. They do have water though. They're drinking boiled rainwater, but there's still no running water on this ship. Going to the bathroom is interesting. I mean, you can't flush the toilet. They're having to brush their teeth. They can't bathe. I know Smith did bathe himself. On day 2 or 3, he found some lavender soap and then he jumped in the chlorine pool and just bathed himself in the pool, which, hey, by all means, do your thing. There's also still no electricity. They are so cold. It's freezing. Am I just gonna read 300 more pages of surviving on a desolate ship? I was so into this book. I'm still interested. I don't know if this is a 5-star anymore. Maybe a 4-star. I'm not sure. We're at 40%, so let's just see what we read tomorrow. I'm not even ready for bed yet. I just had to throw a robe on. My husband, we're messaging right now. He's deployed. He just said something. I mean, I don't know if this is gonna be, I'm speechless right now. He said that since we're on day 4 and they still don't have food, he said they're probably gonna have to eat the dogs. No. I told him I can't read that. I can't even talk right now. He just said, no, I guarantee you 100% for shock factor value, that's probably gonna turn into a plot at some point in this book in the next 60% that I read, that someone is potentially going to bring that up. It may or may not happen, but it will get brought up. No. I'm gonna get showered, I brush my teeth, get ready for bed, and I'm gonna continue reading a happy little cheesy romance that I've been reading for a few months now. I read like a chapter before bed every night. Look what my husband sent me. He's deployed right now, and this just arrived. It is stunning. It's the Ravenclaw special editions of all of the Harry Potter books. They are all so beautiful. They have the sprayed edges, and they all have something at the back. It's so cute. Some of them will have little quizzes and questions. I was going through the first 4. I've read the first 4 books. I need to read 5, 6, and 7. Hello everybody, it is the next afternoon. I have not picked this book up anymore, but I'm about to hop into it. Why did I look up reviews last night? I was on Amazon, not on Goodreads. I should maybe try Goodreads. I was reading, I want to say I read 4 or 5 reviews, not a whole lot, but they all just kind of said the same thing, that these 4 people are stranded on this ship for reasons, and that it's just a lot of psychological torture. But then some of them said physical torture. I can't read about that. I can't handle that. I didn't see anything about dogs, so maybe they don't eat them, but I don't know. Let's get back into it and just see what happens. Audi is here to join us. Okay, listen. Fires are the nemesis of any seafaring vessel. So start a fire. I mean, they've got their little fire on the steel deck, the area with all the steel that also can't just go up in flames. And they're lighting, the chairs and whatnot on fire so they can have some warmth. But this is somebody else, not those 4, that is saying this to them. Start the fire. I would burn the whole thing down. Start the fire. What is happening to them is just, it's not for me. They're about to go up against more, and I wouldn't do that. The 4 of them have to undergo a challenge tonight, and the challenges are air, water, body, and mind. And one of them has to pick each one. They have 60 seconds to decide. Can we just take a minute? Do you see this little baby that's on me? It's so cute. I can't stand the character Smith. I'm just throwing that out there. He's been hoarding food, and he just now changed up some things that he shouldn't have changed. There are solid moral reasons to stay here. The ends might justify the means. No! The library in this ship is every book lover's dream. There are over 8,000 books on board. It says they range from travel books to romance to literary fictions to young adult to crime to biographies. I would love to go through that library. Here's more. Large tomes, slender paperbacks, nonfiction, epic fantasies, hardback thrillers with sprayed edges. I have reached the 50% mark. I'm on page 208, and there's not a lot I can tell you. They still haven't eaten. They don't have food. Nothing's happened with the dogs yet, although I feel so terrible. They're pretty much in their kennels the entire day. I think, what are we on? Are we on day 4 or 5? I don't even know at this point. But Franny will just go and let them out one at a time to just go to the bathroom, and then she'll put them right back in their kennel. It's just really sad. I don't like this. I don't like that the humans aren't getting food. The animals are just living in a little box. Kaz really believes that Pete misses her, that he just got off the ship willy-nilly, but he's at home waiting for her. She really thinks that I would be livid if I went on this cruise of a lifetime with anyone, but especially the love of my life, as she calls Pete. I would be so upset after finding out what is going on and what has happened. I'm sorry, I would never forgive Pete. I would not forgive any of the people. Smith came with his friend John, wouldn't forgive John. Daniel came alone, good for you, I guess. Franny came with her mom and dad, because her mom and dad were supposedly celebrating their silver wedding anniversary. Nope, wouldn't forgive them. I'm sorry, if you did this to me for your own sick and twisted, I can't even say, but I'd be so mad. Was there really a Stanford prison experiment? I'm not really sure. Kaz is telling us this story about how there were students at Stanford that were divided into inmates and guards, and they did a mock-up prison beneath Stanford University, and it got pulled. It was supposed to be a 14-day experiment, and it got called after 6 days. Day 5. That's what we're on. We're on day 5. They're hungry. Daniel has caught a fish. He acquired a net, and he caught a fish about the size of a wine bottle. The 4 of them are having a fish for dinner. I want to go and get a salad here on base, but in the meantime, I'm eating some yogurt cranberries, and then, oh my gosh, I just opened these, but these are the Lemon Ups Girl Scout cookies. They have little creative slogans on them. I am gutsy, I am creative, I am bold. Just kind of taking a break from this book, because I don't know how I feel about it. Please do remember that you brought this upon yourselves, said someone else, not the 4 people stranded on the ship. Are they bad people? Have these 4 people? I need some tea. Please tell me. I need to know. I would not trust Smith with my life. He literally just told Kaz, yeah, I'll do my best. No, you won't. She's going to die. No, why would you trust Smith? Kaz is really thinking, why don't I have life insurance? Where did I put my will? Maybe I'd be more responsible if I had a dependent at home. I'm left to perish from hypothermia in this unforgiving sea. My only hope is Smith. Woman, all champagne is French champagne. This is my 60% check-in. I'm actually at 61%. I'm on page 262. Some things are going on. Things have gone down. They had to dress up for dinner. They are so gaunt. They are so sick. They're so unhealthy looking, but they had to dress literally in tuxedos and ball gowns. And so they're down at, I don't know, one of the restaurants there on the ship. And remember, there's no food, but they're sitting at their table. When they lift up the tablecloth, the table is actually sitting on mini fridges. I'm just curious to see what else it's going to be. I'm so nervous. Do you think they're gonna have to eat the dog? They've been drugged. They just woke up. They don't know how long they were out. And there are rats everywhere. Literally every other paragraph is Kaz replaying something that happened in her childhood with her mom, dad, and sister. It is so annoying. It's every other paragraph. Oh my gosh, even right here, you're a fool, you're a hungry fool, blah, blah, blah. This is all what's happening right now on this abandoned ship. But then here, the day after Dad's funeral, I walked in, a complex fog of grief. Girl, shut up. I'm so tired of reading about her. And then we go back to main day. Franny's dog starts whining. They released some of the dogs to get some of the vermin that are just kind of taking over the ship. I'm so tired of reading about Kaz. I shouldn't be giggling at this part, but I am. There is a fishing trawler. I guess there's a little boat. It's about 5 miles away. They can see it through the telescope, but apparently it's on fire. And everyone on this abandoned ship, the 4 of them, one of them says, are they saving us or are we saving them? Because they got so excited. Kaz says, we need to help them. And then Daniel says, we can't even help us. They're having a conversation about that trawler ship, whatever, that boat that kind of was on fire and then sank. And Kaz is just saying, on instinct, I just don't think that anybody died. I think everyone survived. And then she goes into, Mom's first husband was a trawlerman out of Grimsby's docks. She didn't tell us about him until Gemma and I were teenagers. Why do we keep needing to learn everything there is about Kaz? Why? This is my last one. I promise. I will stop talking about Kaz's flashbacks. This one is actually a flashback from 5 days ago when Pete was still with her. At the moment, in real time, so 5 days later, I say we, like I'm part of it. Daniel has to do something. There's something, that's all I'm gonna say. And Kaz and Franny are talking, and then Kaz, I look away for a moment to a section of the deck that I walked with Pete mere days ago. Girl, I'm so tired of reading about you. I don't care what happened in your past. I don't care what happened on day 1 when you were with Pete. This book could be half the size if we could stop getting these long paragraphs about Kaz. I'm at 71%. This is my 70% check-in. I kept reading. I'm on page 308. I don't really have anything to say. They're still stuck on the ship. Something happened, and I'm curious to know if there's going to be a twist with that. So I don't know. It made me sad. We'll see. It had nothing to do with the dogs, though. Just throwing that out there. We're on day 7. How long are cruises? I've never been on a cruise because I'm too motion sick, and now after reading this book, I will never go on a cruise, but we're on day 7. When is this over? Hold up. I have a question. I don't want to Google this because I don't want it in my search history, and I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble on YouTube for saying this. I mean, it's in the book, so maybe it's all fake, but a different person is saying, have you ever heard of a red room? And Kaz says, no, I haven't. And then this person says, a red room is something that exists on the dark web. It's where anonymous individuals pay significant sums to watch someone die in real time. And Kaz says, what? And then this person says, it's essentially a live execution. People have been watching executions for millennia. This is entertainment for money, unpoliced. And then Kaz says, this actually happens? And then this other person says, nobody really knows the true extent of red rooms because of the dark web being the shadiest part of the internet. No law enforcement there, nobody to help. And then someone says, I think this whole ship is a red room. I'm at 75%. I'm on page 326, chapter 95. These chapters are so short. I am hungry. I think I'm going to go get a salad. And I'm tempted to get some gin so that I can make a dirty martini. I will be right back. I'm gonna stay on base. I'm gonna go to a restaurant here and get a salad and eat dinner and then come back and keep reading. So here's my little outfit check to go get some dinner, and I will see y'all when I get back. I don't know if I'll ever get used to the right side steering wheel and driving on the left side of the road. Also, side note, do y'all think I would like the Magnolia Parks Universe series? It just does not seem like the type of series for me, just rich, elite London, toxic relationships, but I don't know. I'm watching a video right now on YouTube. I'm gonna watch that some more while I'm waiting for my food. I wanna know if I would be interested in that series. This looks so good. I got a shrimp and avocado salad, and it comes with a little bit of bread. There's some broccoli, egg, and red onion with it too. All right, let's go. Let's sit down next to our child and eat our salad. I'm done with my salad and I'm just sitting here with some Audi. We have 1 hour and 45 minutes left of this book. Let's finish it. My heart was racing. Someone rang my doorbell. It's after 8 o'clock at night, which isn't late, but also it's late for someone to be at your door. My little 9-year-old neighbor brought me a cupcake, and she said it's from our pregnant neighbor. And then as I was walking into my kitchen, my pregnant neighbor texted me and said, the baby wanted cupcakes, so I'm gonna have the 9-year-old bring you up a cupcake. She made so many. I'm excited. You know what I wanna know? Where did the rats come from? They're in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, so how are there so many rats on one of those decks? Just out of the blue. It happened when they got drugged. Where did these rats come from? And then they're just talking about, you know, we need to take stock of our water and our food. We need to hunker down. They still don't have food. What, you're gonna take stock of your lemons and limes? And I think they had some olives. Maybe there were some olives. And then of course, what's that middle paragraph? I know I said I'd stop talking about it, but Kaz is thinking, Gemma and I used to hunker down in our bedroom when mom and dad were arguing. I'm telling you right now, this book could be half of its size if people would stop going back into the past. Now Smith is over here saying it was 1993. Clinton had just been sworn into office. They're not eating the dogs, but they are eating the dog food. They have access to the kitchen. Not that there's food in the kitchen, remember that. But the dogs have food, so they've taken the cans of wet food and rolled them into what look like meatballs and put salt, pepper, and chili flakes on them and then fried them. Apparently, they are revolting, but to be fair, they are edible. I forced them down. I am so sick of this book. This is my 80% check-in. I'm on page 347, chapter 102. And guess what it's talking about? Kaz is back in another flashback. Alice, my niece, says that when she was 12, she felt so much pressure at school with ongoing assessments and homework. Her anxiety negatively affected her grades. Shut the... I'm so tired of this book. And at 347, we should just be done. And how many pages is this? 445? Do I still have another 98 pages to go? I'm so over it. She's probably gonna jump. She gets really scared. Oh, yep, there she goes. Okay, so this is my 90% check-in. I'm at 91%, page 397. This book has kind of turned into a horror novel, at least in my eyes, my opinion. We have found out some things and we've seen some things with the previous passengers. Oh, my stomach hurts. This is disgusting. I want to stop reading this book. I'm so tired of it. Look how long this paragraph is. Why are we still reading about Kaz and her terrible, horrible upbringing and what's going on with her mom and her dad and her sister? It is so annoying. I'm 94% in. I'm on page 414. I do not want to keep reading. I'm so over this book. I'm so over it, and so much has happened, and I can't even say anything. I hate this book. I hate it. I have finished the book. I'm sorry, this was a 2-star book. I gave it 3 on Kindle Unlimited. Anytime I hate books, I still give them a 3 because you wrote a book, good for you. I was just not your intended audience. I'm sorry, that was more than just I don't even want to call it a survival thriller. I don't even know. I feel like parts of this book were horror, especially as we were getting towards the end, and then just the psychological torture that these people went through for 7 days. I'm sorry, but it was not okay, especially with how it ended and what it was about and what it was for. And then for the next part of the ending to come and for it to essentially happen again. These people, one of them for sure, Kaz, was so messed up in the head. She was so messed up. This was not okay. I hated this book. I hated it. I felt like I liked it in the beginning, and then I just did not like it as time went on. Also, there was no point to keep learning about Kaz's background. Oh my gosh. And I know I didn't start reading these out to y'all until, I don't know, maybe halfway through this vlog. I don't even remember when I started doing it, but this had been going on since the beginning of the book. For 445 pages, I'm telling you, over 200 pages of this book was just Kaz just in her woe is me era about her dad and his gambling problems, and then how he passed away, and her mom, and she doesn't remember her, and her dementia, and her sister Gemma, and she's in this domestic violence relationship with her husband, and Gemma's on drugs. We did not, just letting you know, if you go and read this book, you don't need to know any of that. You need to know nothing. None of that keeps the plot going. None of it is relevant at the end. We did not need any of that. So if y'all want to read this book, I've already returned it to Kindle Unlimited, but if you want to read this book and you keep getting to every other paragraph about Kaz and her background, you can skip it. Just skip over it because you don't need to know any of it. This book, oh my gosh, I'm so frustrated right now. I'm so frustrated. I need to go. 2 stars. This book was a 2-star. I'm so annoyed. I just wanted a nice, fun thriller. None of this was fun. None of it. Okay, anyways, thank you for coming along on this journey with me. And I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.